I'm curious, like, do you have any anecdotal data that showcases like how many failures you're able to prevent? And do you have some metric that you track that showcases, it was worth it to take an extra few hours of downtime because we prevented X, Y, and Z from happening in the future?
There's not, I don't know if I have a good metric to do it. It's just, I try and do like a cost avoidance kind of savings metric. That's also hard to justify. People don't always believe that as well. You say, oh, I saved $5 million. Sure you did. Where I don't see that money in my pocket. So it's an interesting game that you always have to play, and understanding that. A good executive team that has a good understanding definitely makes it easier. The best you can do is just try and quantify how many times it's happened in the past, figure out what the failure rate is or the mean time between that failure mode. And then when you solve it, you can look and say, look, we've got this extra uptime now that we've solved this issue. I made it sound a lot easier than I think it is, but that's what you have to do to try and justify it.
Exactly. And I know that that's a common thing that I feel like people in our industry have to solve and try to overcome on a daily,
Mm-hmm.
weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, is just like showcasing the work that we do and why it's important, improving it to ultimately not ourselves, it's to other people.
I find at sites, most places have a plotter. They're usually just collecting dust now, unless you have a department that really, like the mining engineers really like to print off maps and everything and use it. But I like to print off posters with just different KPIs, not even KPIs, just the performance indicators that maybe a mechanic would care about, like, and reward the good behavior and start driving a bit of a culture change. If something fails, don't just say, look, we need to do a full RCA. We need to, I need to take 5 people into a room for 3 days, really hash out what happened. You're not going to get any buy-in. It's about the baby steps. It's about, hey, yeah, this was a failure. Let's just run through a quick thought experiments. Let's take an hour, do a 5 why, just to kind of start building people into that way of thinking.
Yeah.
People don't like change. They might recognize that they need it, but it's hard. Everybody likes how they're doing things. When you bring new ideas in, you're often asking people to become busier with the promise that they're going to be less busy in the future, which I don't know if that ever happens.
Yeah.
But that's essentially what you're asking for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's more like, you get less, well, you save in more productivity, but you get more work piled on you later as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then, somebody leaves and they're like, oh, this guy has all this time left. And, it's now you're stuck with everybody's work. And